So we've been hearing a lot about hyperinflation and how it's about to come any day now and you better get ready. Well, today I'm going to give you 10 ideas of 10 things you should stock up on before hyperinflation hits. All right, everybody, welcome back. So today I want to talk about hyperinflation and what you can do to kind of ward it off a little bit and what you can stock up on to keep your family and your loved ones safe and kind of a little bit protected from the coming hyperinflation that we all kind of feel is coming. You've heard about it in the news, you've seen people talk about it, and no matter what side of the political spectrum people fall on, there's a lot of people that feel it's going to be really, really bad when it comes. So what is hyperinflation? Well, it's when the cost of living goes up, but your wages don't. This bag of rice per se here, costs $7 today, and tomorrow might cost $25. Your money can't cover that new cost, so you go without. That's why I'm telling people now to start stocking up on some basic food items and basic items in general that you can get. Now, nothing here is an endorsement. I'm not saying you have to buy this knife or this first aid kit. I'm just saying these are representations of items you should be stocking up on right now. Honestly, most of the stuff was easiest for me to grab when I started doing the video. So that's why it's out here. So let's start off with the first and foremost important thing of all. Water and water purification. Now you'll notice again I have some water here. This is actually a water in a little pouch. If you just choose to get bottled water, you're fine. We have a lot of issues with drought right now. And I think it's going to become really, really hard to come by water in the future if this drought gets worse and worse. Not only that, but it's an excellent item to put away for survival and preppers to begin with. Not saying you have to buy this particular, 2-gallon jug. If you can get 55-gallon drums like I have, by all means do it. I just wasn't going to haul one out here to show you. But anyway, yes, water and a means of filtration. Now this here is a MSR Trail Shot water filter. Again, you don't have to buy this one. You can buy a hollow fiber membrane water filter from Walmart. You can buy a very expensive ceramic filter, that sits on your counter from Big Berkey or whatever. But this is an idea that I think is really important. You may end up having to filter your water. You may have boil water orders in your city or town because things are going down or broken. We've all talked about possible cyber attacks. Definitely, water and water filter is your number one priority. So, let's move on to the next thing. I'm going to slowly move things away so you can kind of see it a little better as we go. And that's going to be food. Now, I think we've seen with last March when things were out of stock and shortages we're still seeing and food prices rising, why food is so important. Now, a real easy, simple thing to do is rice. Again, you don't have to buy this brand. You can do it any way you want. You get enough of these, you put them in a Mylar bag with oxygen absorbers, put them in a 5-gallon bucket, and you've got rice that you packed yourself stored for 25 years. Good to go. I've had some even longer than that and used it. It was perfectly fine. But anyway you decide to stock food, I have some store-bought stuff here. The Adventure Meals, the Beef Stroganoff Mountain House. I have some Thrive. I have some just random, food that I picked up from a local place. I had the freeze-dried wholesalers stuff here. However you can manage to stock food, even if it's nothing more than going to your dollar store and buying cans of chicken and Chef Boyardee and vegetables or whatever. That's what I want people to do right now. Get started on putting away some food. If you have a freezer and you can store meats, now's a good time to start buying it ahead of time so you don't have to worry about it later. You're all stocked up. So with food prices rising and more shortages happening, food is definitely an item I would keep on that list. So let's move on to the next item. All right, the next item up is meds, both prescription and over-the-counter. You'll notice this is a first aid kit that I put together from a roll-up I got at the Goodwill for 75 cents. I have a lot of over-the-counter type stuff in here. Just stuff that I take for me personally. Allergy pills. I have some Aleve in there, Advil, pretty much everything. So stuff like that, over-the-counter meds, are getting expensive. Your allergy meds are starting to go up, a lot of that kind of stuff. And that's the kind of stuff you really want to stockpile and start stockpiling up on. And with that said, let's move on to the next item, which is medical equipment, Band-Aids, creams, antibiotic ointment, gauze, and tourniquets. In here I have all of that. I even have a tourniquet, cat tourniquet up in the top here in the corner. I have all of this. Now this is not by any means all I have stored. This is again a representation for the video. But even if you just get yourself a good starter first aid kit and start adding your bandages, your gauze, anything like that. You start adding those things to your preps right now, you will be very, very thankful. If your kid has allergies and they're sneezing and coughing and you can't afford to go out and get allergy medicine later, it's going to be a problem. So you definitely want to go out and get yourself some first aid supplies, survival type medical tools for yourself and your family. Again, you can put it together in something like this. My big main medical toolbox is just that, a big toolbox. You can put it any way you want. You can store it in totes and Rubbermaid bins, however you want to do it. But you definitely want to start getting stocked up on that. And also think outside of the box on some of your medical stuff. I recently purchased a walker. It's not because I need it, but because I've injured my knee and in the past. And let me tell you something, getting around is not fun when you don't have anything to get you around on. Crutches. If you break a limb and somebody's able to set it, you can at least walk on the crutches. Things like that, smaller first aid medical type items that can help you out in an emergency are definitely going to be welcome if inflation hits and you can't afford them after. So let's move on to the next item. All right, so we talked about having food. Well, you got to find a way to cook it. So I'm definitely going to tell you to start stocking up on fuels for any type of stove you have, be it isobutane, butane, white gas, whatever you have. I've seen this stuff go up in price, okay? All of it. You're also going to need fuels for your vehicle. Now, don't worry, this is empty. I'm going to put it up here with all this stuff on the counter. But you're going to need fuels for your vehicle, diesel, gasoline, anything you can safely put away. Now, when I say safely, I'm not talking about getting 30 of these and sticking them in your living room. No. Put them outside, put them in a shed, somewhere far away from your house where there won't be any issue. Or get military gas cans, which are safe to store, and you'll be good to go. So, fuel I've seen go up in price. Gosh, I remember when these were $1, okay? And now, in Big 5, these are like $4. Your little isobutane cans have gone up. I'm sure most of you remember buying them at Walmart very cheaply. Now they've gone up. Kerosene has definitely gone up, as has white gas. So, and the propane, well, you all know these. You might even want to invest in getting an adapter that can run an item that takes these, a stove, on a 20-pound canister. And I plan on doing that myself because I have my grill that I reviewed a while back, my propane grill. And I want to run that off a 20-pound bottle and not off these little individual guys because it'll take like 2 of these just to cook breakfast. So definitely, fuels are a priority. Start stocking up on those now and do it in a safe manner. Let's move on to the next item. Next up, if you have devices that run on them, you're going to need batteries, and you're going to need to stockpile them. One of the nice things about batteries these days is they last a whole lot longer, and they're leak-proof to a higher level. I remember buying packs of batteries in, say, 98, 99, and those things were gone after a year. You'd have all the white stuff forming on the bottom of them and then exploding in devices and stuff. These are a whole lot better. They are alkalines. Yeah, some people will go for rechargeables. But if you have rechargeables, make sure you have a way to recharge them. I do have a few rechargeable batteries, but we're talking about people who are just getting started, okay? I don't want you to run out and buy a charger and this and that and all these, because that could become a whole nother hobby in and of itself. Go out and get batteries for devices, the battery sizes that you know you're going to need, okay? I do recommend these Duracell Optimums. These things are amazing. I have one now for 2 years. When they first came out, I bought them. For 2 years in my remote weather sensor out there with the wind and rain monitor, and it's still going strong. So definitely check those out. Make sure you pick up some batteries. They've gone way up in price. I mean, I tell you, I remember this was maybe $4 or $5, $6 for Duracell's Ds. They're like $14. So get them before you can't afford them anymore. All right. Let's move on to the next item. Okay, this one's really a representation because, of course, there's far more than what I'm showing here, but tools. Things to fix your house, things to fix your car. You may not be able to afford a mechanic at a certain time. You may not be able to afford the repair price of something. So if you can start doing things yourself and or working around your house a little easier, and that's why I have the knife here as a survival tool, you're going to really appreciate it when the time comes. Tools have also gone up in price over the years. Some of this stuff, some of my main tools here, like this screwdriver set, I got this secondhand in a store that sold nothing but secondhand tools. They went out of business here a few years ago, unfortunately. But, I mean, if you can buy them at a Goodwill or a secondhand store, by all means get them and stock up on them. Drills, things like that. Maybe even nails, screws, a hammer, a good hammer. This is, again, a representation. This is more of a gunsmithing hammer. But anything you can get your hands on for tools, you're not going to be able to afford the coming price of repair in some cases. If things really get out of control, where a repair that maybe costs $500 in the future will cost $2,000. So you're going to need a good set of tools, and you're going to need a way to take care of your own place and your vehicle and whatever else may come up. So definitely, tools are on the agenda. Pick them up. Since much of it is shipped in from overseas, we're going to say clothing. Good shoes, good work boots ahead of time, maybe even an extra pair if you can swing it. Good work pants. These are 511s. I have about 4 or 5 of these put away. I wore these at the gun shop when I worked there, and I took very good care of them. They're, in really good shape. So you definitely want a good pair of clothes, a good set of clothing for hard times. Clothing comes in shipped from overseas, a lot of it. Unfortunately now, we do not produce a lot of clothing here at home. So that's stuff that's going to get affected by shortages, by shipping bottlenecks and supply chains breaking down, and that's something you're going to want to stock up on is good clothing. Again, you don't need to go out and buy these boots, you don't need to go out and buy these pants. If you just wear regular everyday jeans and t-shirts, make sure you pick up a few extras next time you go shopping, because they might be very, very hard to get in the future or very expensive. All right, next up. Next up is lighting, backup lighting. We've seen cyber attacks take down our water supply, our food supply. Who's to say they're not going to take down a power station next? So, lighting and backup lighting is very, very important. Little things like this, you can buy these at Walmart. They're very inexpensive, and again, that's where the batteries come in, because this takes 3D batteries. Things like, this little light here, little Nebo little buddy, very, very handy little light. You're going to want something like that. And of course, a personal flashlight. This is an O-light, but any flashlight will do. If that's all, if you can't afford going out and buying an O-light, by all means, get any flashlight you can. And get a few of them. They're very handy to put a couple of these inexpensive lanterns around your house, and when there's a power outage, just kick them on. I have something else that's very interesting too. I'll show it to you real quick here. I'm going to pull it down from its spot. This is a USB-powered light bulb. You just turn it on, and there you go. It comes with a little tiny solar panel. I have never, ever charged this by the charger. I let the solar panel sit in the window and top this off. And every day, I don't know if you can see it by the USB, that little thing there, that's a little blue USB light. And every day around this time, it'll start blinking. And when it stops blinking and turns steady blue, it's fully charged. It hangs anywhere. It's like 14, 15 bucks. I have reviewed this in my channel, so if you want to go to my videos page and search for the Light Me and the portable little bulb, these are amazing little things, and they're very inexpensive. And something like this as emergency lighting, you can stick this in a drawer somewhere, run the solar panel out to the thing, and just let it charge till you need it, pull it out, hang it up, and you got yourself a very bright light. These are actually extremely bright. So definitely backup lighting so you can see what you're doing should there be a power outage. All right, let's move on to the second to last item. All right, next up is backup power. However you want to do this, you don't have to buy this one. I'm not talking about you only have to buy this one or you won't survive. I don't do channels, I don't do videos like that. However, you can find a way to get some backup power, be it a little handheld backup power unit, a power brick, something like this. Any kind will do better than nothing at all when the power goes out. Or building your own solar backup system. It's really not difficult. A couple of deep cycle batteries from Walmart, a charge controller, and we have a charge controller review coming up soon. An inverter and some wire and a solar panel, and you're done. It's that simple. So I have some older videos on my solar setup and some of the things that I've done to it and improved it over the years. But seriously, it's really not that difficult, nor is it that expensive. You can build something that will blow this little thing away, and it will cost probably close to the same range if you know how to build it. So, and right now solar panels are very inexpensive, so definitely get that stuff ahead of time before inflation hits or before overseas bottlenecks occur and you can't get it anymore. So let's move on to the last item. Kind of a dark item, I want to say, but it's something you really need to consider. No, it's not a body bag. It's backup shelter. Have you ever thought about what would happen if you became homeless? Let's say your rent goes crazy. You have an adjustable mortgage that shoots through the roof. Whatever happens, or maybe you lose your job and can't pay for your mortgage or rent. Have you ever thought about what you're going to do in the immediate future, right after that, right after the sheriff knocks at your door and says you got to leave, what you're going to do? A lot of people haven't. And that's why I said it's kind of dark, because you hate thinking about losing your home or not being able to live, and leaving your stuff behind or whatever. But this is a shelter. This is I believe, 4-man military Dutch tent. It's super cheap. If you search for it on my videos, you will find it. Maybe I'll put it at the end of the description in one of the boxes so you can read up on it. Recently, I had a woman here in town ask if there was any kind of tents that someone could donate to a homeless family that had just become homeless and needed a tent right away. And I was ready to offer this one up. She ended up getting the situation resolved without it. But this is something that can really save your butt in a situation. Let's say that eviction day happens on a day where it's raining or snowing or there's horrible cold or horrible heat or whatever. How are you going to shelter yourself if something really bad happens? Not to mention, if you got to bug out for some other emergency, something like this comes in handy. Now, is this a backpacking tent? Heck no, this thing is heavy. But if all you got is your car, and you got to leave your place of residence, and, for whatever reason, this will definitely see you through. It's a very sturdy, tough military tent. It's very waterproof. It's a kind of a rubbery plastic type material. Now, in the extreme heat, it may not be all that comfortable, but it does have good ventilation on either end of it. So that's something to think about. So that is the last item. I hope that was 10 items, but if it was 11 or 12, I'm sorry, I kind of went over. These are just some of the things. Now, this is not a complete list, okay? By all means, if you can think of other stuff that you want to add, by all means, add away. Tell me all about it. Tell me the stuff you think you would stock up on, or shortages you've seen in your specific area, because every area is different. I may have tons of batteries here. You may have none. So that's something else we need to start thinking about as a group, as all the people who watch my channel, and start thinking about, hey, you know what, maybe I can make some friends on here, and if I need batteries, over in Illinois they have batteries, but me in West Virginia, I can't find any, so I can trade them something they can't find. It's kind of a network type thing that you can start thinking about. We know that prices are spiking on food, wood, gas, batteries, tons of other items. So now is the time to start stocking up so you can head off hyperinflation, at least for a short time. Anyway, folks, I thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out our links down below. We have our freeze-dried wholesalers link. You click that link, you immediately save 15% on anything on his site. So check them out down there. We have our My Patriot Supply link, which is preparewithiridium.com, preparewithiridium.com. And I love their food. Really simple solution if you don't have a ton of time to manage stuff. You just buy the stuff, it comes in tubs, you put it away, you're good to go. And they have some awesome sales going on this month. Our Thrive Life store as well, lots of freeze-dried, wholesome, healthy food there for you. And our Amazon affiliate store down below. Some of the items you saw in this video will be in that store. You're going to have to search for them because I can't link every single individual item. I will try to link at the end a review of this tent in one of the little boxes that pops up at the end. But I thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, stay ahead of inflation, and stay prepared.